out of the Absolute alive, thanks to you. You did well to defeat Ketheric, but Ketheric was only the first to fall. There are many more battles ahead, and they will not be so easily won. You will need allies.
I mean, yeah.
Whatever you might do to one cannot be worse than what the Chosen will unleash on all. And you are the one who could prevent it. You have the makings of a leader. Your actions have already inspired those around you. Halsin's strength and loyalty will bolster you in times of need. But if we are to succeed, we will need others. Good. Baldur's Gate may not seek on its streets those whose purpose aligns with our own, and invite them to our cause. Together, we will put an end to the Absolute, the Chosen, all.
On my way.
The road to Baldur's Gate is up ahead. No turning back once we start down the road. The Shadowcursed will soon be forgotten, thanks to us.
I think I'm gonna save here, just in case. We later decide that leaving Act 2 was done too early, but I think we're at a good place.
What do you know about me? You spoke of my past, being chased by wolves. I told no one about that. Almost no one. But I certainly didn't share that with you.
There is nothing I can tell you that you do not already know yourself. They trained you well, trained you hard. Chiseled away any part of you that did not fit their plan. They made you forget.
I chose to do that. For the mission to protect Shaz.
Secrets. Yes, yes, that is an old song, girl. Your goddess cares more for her precious secrets than she does her devotees.
Get to the point.
When you freed me, you severed a bond between me and that dog, Thorm. A bond of pain. His, inflicted on me. When I laid eyes on you, I sensed a similar bond. You, tethered to two others. Someplace distant. Let me help you remember.
You feel Shadowheart's mind tug at the edges of your own. You know this sensation. She wants you to see whatever is about to be revealed. Your mind joins with Shadowheart's. Something pulls at you both, bringing you elsewhere.
But... who was that man?
You already know. Did you not see yourself in him? Do you not recognize your own blood?
My father. That was him.
That is him. He lives still. And your mother, too.
No. It can't be. I'm an orphan.
And who told you that? Your adoptive family? You are not to blame. You were young, impressionable. They took you because they wanted to break and remake you. But you are a child no longer. You are a woman. One who knows what must be done.
My parents. I need to save them.
Your parents are with your abductors. You will need to return to their lair. But be warned. You may have once thought of them as comrades, mentors, friends, even lovers. They will all be enemies now. You have been forewarned for what is to come, but not yet forearmed. I was able to retrieve it before it sank too far into Shah's umbral domain. Shah is quick to discard whatever she has no use for. I think you know that well enough. But I felt it call to me as I took flight. Whatever Shah calls her own, Selûne has equal claim to. They are one and the same. Their power is matched and mirrored. Take it. You will find it useful. What you do with it, that will be up to you. Same as before.
I'll need every advantage, it seems. Thank you.
A debt repaid. You returned my life unto me. Now go and claim your own.
It hurts.
Shah torments you still. What a spiteful creature she is. This will not stop until you take action. See that your parents' sacrifices are not in vain. Allow the Moon Maiden to guide you at last.
The curse has been lifted, the lands cleansed of the shadows. Kethric's reign of living death is over. Your courage has been tested, and in this at least, you have triumphed.
No.
Sergeant, if you are here, I presume Wern's Rock is secure, and preparations for my inauguration are complete.
No, Lord Gortash. We were interrupted. Another quake in the lower city. More severe this time.
So you came cowering to my chambers? I'm flattered, Sergeant. But even I cannot command natural phenomena to cease.
Forgive me, my lord, but there is panic in the streets. The people are afraid.
Perhaps the people would be calm if you kept your nerve. I expect better from the Flaming Fist than to run scared from a slight tremor in the earth. Get back to your duties.
Duties, duties, duties. Patrolling and saluting and following and bowing and scraping. Yes, sir. No, sir. Rip and cut your throat, sir. Your plan is falling apart, lordling. Give me a reason not to cut you to ribbons.
Control yourself, Orin. We need to focus on reuniting the stones or the brain will break free. These quakes are just the start. Neither of us expected the prism bearers to kill Ketheric. They'll be traveling to the city. Let's make sure we give them a Baldurian welcome.
My prodigal bloodkin is among them.
They live.
Barely. I made mince of their ugly mind matter. And if they dare return, I will strip out their offal.
Beyond the campsite, the city waits in uneasy silence, one sleep away. The events of the last days weigh heavily upon you. Sleep's rest is slow to come to one whose mind is so full. The Absolute is not a god, but an elder brain controlled by the chosen of the Dead Three. They mean to use it to take control of the Sword Coast. All who carry the Tadpole are governed by the brain, and by extension the chosen. It will take but one order to transform them into an army of mind flayers. This would have been your fate too, were it not for the Dream Visitor's protection. With his help, you have uncovered the cult for what it really is. A plan of conquest, orchestrated by the gods of death themselves. Together, you have the power to thwart the Dead Three. If you follow this path to its end, the Elder Brain will not answer to the Chosen. It will answer to you. And what then? You are prone to impulses as uncontrollable as the gods themselves. Will you even have a say in what you do? Will you liberate the true souls from their parasites and their religious delusions? Or will you use the power you gain for your own purposes? Even as you utter the words to yourself, you know it is but an intention. And these dark desires of yours have little regard for your intentions. You will not have long to wait. All you need to do now is sleep. But sleep is not for you.
The reckoning is upon us! The city thirsts for domination! March! Join power!
That thing's not going to hold together much longer.
Where am I?
Flayer. God's damned abomination.
The Githyanki is the source of our protection against the Absolute. I must subdue him, or everything we've worked towards is lost. Don't let my form deceive you. I am the one that's been protecting you. I am the one that came to you in your dreams. Help me. You saved a child from a viper, back in the Druid's Grove. You saved the Asima Night Song from her soul cage. Your continued existence as yourself, and not a mind flayer, should be all the proof you need. Now, help me. The God. Destroy the God. They prevent me from subduing their master. Do it now! Together, we can turn the tide.
We'll do it my way.
For my prince's honor!
Jesus.
Forever dauntless.
Still on my feet.
No holding back. 2 steps at a time.
Nothing will stand in my way.
Do the unexpected.
Breathe deep and move.
Concentrate.
Two steps at a time.
What now?
That was too close. Don't look at me like that. I am a mind flayer, yes. Without me, you would be a slave to the Absolute.
Of all the things to be indebted to, a bloody mind flayer.
You may call me the Emperor. An adventurer. I came from Baldur's Gate, though I was never one to be constrained by circumstance. I longed for more. That longing brought me to Moonrise Towers on a search for treasure. To a colony of mind flayers who caught me, changed me into what I am now. For years, I served the Elder Brain, the one you know as the Absolute. I was a thrall like any other, but I was fortunate. I broke free and started a new life in my old city. I sustained myself on criminals. Unglamorous, but there are plenty of them, rarely missed. And they fueled me while I did my work. I had the good fortune to meet Duke Stelmane. We formed a partnership, and through her, I became the governing force behind the Knights of the Shield, the largest mercantile operation in Baldur's Gate. People referred to me as the Emperor. Such was my influence, though of course they had no idea what I really was. My needs were sated. I was happy for a while, until my true nature was discovered by the tyrant himself, Lord Gortash. He tore me from my home and brought me back to the Brain, where I became a slave once again. A slave he continued to call me Emperor. The name was intended as a slight, to remind me of the heights from which I fell. But I have grown fond of it. It encapsulates well who I've become. Indeed. His hubris knows no bounds. To enslave me, that was his nature. But to enslave an Elder Brain, a questionable decision. I shall look forward to sharing his downfall with you. Not all mind flayers are alike. I have always valued freedom above all else. In my past life, and present. It has been a burning need within me for as long as I can remember. We fought to tame Prince Orpheus, the son of Gith herself. His power has been the source of your continued protection against the voice of the Absolute. The power to disrupt hive mind communication. It is the same power that enabled Orpheus's mother to bring about the fall of the Illithid Empire eons ago. A power she passed on to him, and that I leveraged for you. When Orpheus's mother left, a usurper took her place. Blackith declared herself Queen of the Githyanki. Blackith wanted his power. He refused. And so she sealed him within this prison. His honor guard, ever loyal, followed him in. Bound by infernal chains, Orpheus could never leave. Bound by duty, his guard never would. They were close to breaking my hold on that prince. And if they had succeeded, we would be lost. I am relieved. You have embraced your potential enough that you could help me eliminate them. Alone, Orpheus will be much easier to control. No. Gortash sent me on a mission to retrieve the Astral Prism. I was one of many, but the first to find it. How Gortash or the other Chosen learned of its existence, I do not know. The moment I found it, I felt a change. My free will returning. I followed the feeling inside, and found Orpheus. I realized what the prism was for. Containment. While my body was within the prism's bounds, my mind was free. I could resist the Elderbrain, the Chosen. Better yet, I could plan to overthrow them. All I needed to do was subdue Orpheus and find allies in the outer world. You. I do not have the privilege of knowing the answer, but the consequences are clear enough. Some Githyanki still revere him, in defiance of their teachings. Blackith was safe as long as they believed him to be dead. But as you can see, he is very much alive. She kept him this way because she was reluctant to eradicate such power. Power that she might one day wish to take from him. If the Githyanki ever find out what she has done, there will be civil war. Blackith will be finished. There may come a time when that is necessary, but there is no guarantee that his power would survive his passing. The risk is too great. The moment his protection is gone, he would become enthralled to the Elderbrain, just as I would. We may look different, but to the Elderbrain we are already the same. Thralls in its design. I appreciate that, but this is what I am. My original body was destroyed when I transformed. When I first escaped the Elderbrain, I searched for a new vessel, but the longer I inhabited this one, the more it grew on me. I realized that returning to my former self would only impose limitations. Any advantage I could gain by restoring my original appearance, I already had to hand in the form of magic, and that humanoid shape you've come to know. As an Illithid, I have far surpassed who I ever was before. You, too, should embrace this change. I believe we'll have a better chance of defeating the Elderbrain if you embrace your latent Illithid potential. I've been studying you for a while now. I believe I can trigger the next stage of your Tadpole's life cycle, while continuing to preserve your independence. You have seen what I can do. Imagine yourself with the same strength, the same intelligence, the same devastating beauty. If you let me, I can evolve you. You will be able to do things you never thought were possible. There will be physical alterations, of course, but only partial. You will retain most of your current form, and you will soon see that the benefits outweigh any perceived loss. The answer is twofold. One, I can, but it would kill you, as I told you before. Two, why would I? You have done well with the limited form you have, but you would do far better as an Illithid. So, do you wish to evolve or not?
Well, certainly brave of you. I'll say that much.
You continue to surprise me. Your mind is truly something special. Now, hold out your hand. It wants to evolve, but it cannot do so alone. It must commune with another.
A coldness seeps through your veins as the tadpole awakens, its yearning almost unbearable. Your mind is a veritable feast. The tadpole's essence courses through you. Where it touches, your flesh, glands, organs contract and flood with pure thought. You feel different. Your body has never felt more connected. Your mind present in every flex of a joint or muscle.
You are exquisite. When your allies see what you can do, I hope you encourage them to try it for themselves. But we mustn't lose focus. We need to resume our journey. You heard the Chosen. The brain has gone to the city, and the army marches to follow. We must not let them reach it. We must find the brain, and bring it under our control.
All's well that ends. Not as bad as it could have. Can't slow down. No traps, please.
By Baldur's bones, this is a lot to take in. Let's see if I've got this right. 1, we've been carrying a mind flayer around with us this whole time. 2, it's been appearing as someone else in our dreams, cajoling us to embrace our new illithid talents. 3, the mind flayer's been siphoning a Githyanki prisoner's powers to shield us from the Absolute's voice. Did I miss anything? How could I forget? One of Baldur's Gate's most distinguished figures, a mind flayer's ally. Sensational tales, aren't they? Almost unbelievable. With a narrator so unreliable, how do we tell fact from fiction? I can't pretend I have the answer, but I know the illithid's right about one thing. It holds our fates in its talons. Until the Absolute falls, There's no getting rid of it. I think that unknowable powers come with unknowable consequences. I can't say I'm not curious, but once you've taken a lithid by the talon, there's no telling how deep into the abyss it might drag you. All right. What else is on your mind?
Just what I need.
So, we owe our lack of tentacles to one of the very creatures that kidnapped us. At least my lack of tentacles. I'm not sure what's next for you. Don't look at me like that. I know what you're going to say. The answer is no. No. That was before I knew the cost. Before I knew it meant transforming into some grotesque beast. I remember how it hurt when I turned into a vampire. My body writhed and warped while I was utterly helpless. The grip of death owned my heart as it beat its last. I don't want to turn into anything else. I can't do that again. I can't watch my body be taken over. I had nothing for so long. Nothing. Not even my own body. I will not give it up. Now it's mine again.
So, there's been a mind flayer inside the artifact, or astral prism, the whole time we've had it. Sounds like utter madness, even though I've seen it with my own eyes. The more I learn, the less I understand just why I was sent to retrieve that thing. But it matters little now. I do not serve Shah anymore, nor the Mother Superior. The prism is no longer my mission. Saving my parents is. But I digress. Did you want something? On one hand, they seem useful. But on the other hand, or perhaps tentacle before long, we know where they're coming from, and what lies at the end of that path. I never expected Ceramorphosis to be tempting. I think we should resist these powers. There's simply too many unknowns for us to risk it. It's been known to happen.
be able to do things you never thought were possible. The answer is twofold, too, so do you wish to... I understand. Let us hope then that your present self will be sufficient to deal with 3 gods of death and a giant magically enhanced elder brain. But in case you change your mind... look after it. Use it when you're ready to evolve. You or your allies. It has vitality enough for you all. But we mustn't lose focus. We need to resume our journey. You heard the Chosen. The brain has gone to the city, and the army marches to follow. We must not let them reach it. We must find the brain, and bring it under our control.
Is that blood? No, never mind. Better not be cursed. Never wanted the easy path. I have a lot on my mind.
By Baldur's bones, this is a... Did I miss anything? How could I... Since I can't... It holds our fates in its talons. Until the absolute falls, there's no getting rid of it. Yes, I'm not about to make such a sacrifice. Thank you.
So, there's been a mind flare. I do not, but I digress. Did you want something? Of course. Not sure what to feel. My parents are alive, and I need to save them. I'm lucky to have you by my side. I don't think I could face what's to come otherwise.
So, we owe our lack of tentacles to one of the very creatures that kidnapped us. And now it's offering us power, if we're willing to... We both know what it is capable of, but I'm not touching it. That was... I...
Be honest. What do you think of the new look? Well, I'm glad someone does. Perhaps I'll get used to it. I have a lot to get used to right now. Of course. I thought you'd never ask.
must find where Gortash and Orin have established themselves, and take their nether stones.
Don't waste a step.
The city is close now. My former peers will be watching, no doubt. Waiting for my return. We should do what we can to find them. What they know could help us.
Excuse me. I can't find my mum. She was sick. She had spots on her face and hands. She went to go get some herbs, and she was supposed to come back the same day. That was last 10 day, though. Oh, wow, thank you. Mum loved food like this. Simple is best, she always said. I'll look for her. I think she'll probably come soon. Thanks a lot.
You've been seeing that for days. My feet hurt.
No biggie, but you'll be in a big, cozy suit.
What's up for discussion? If my friend tries to get you to invest, kindly turn her down. She doesn't need the encouragement.
I'm not asking for more. If I hire the refugees, then I get cheap labor and they get coin. It's a good deal for everyone.
I'm not paid to talk. If you want something, speak to Zenobia.
The place was empty. Keep those thugs away from my family.
Zenobia! Get these squatters out of my house now!
Arthur, sweetheart, you paid me and my boys to be caravan guards, not cattle wranglers. If you want us to get our hands dirty, it'd be our pleasure. But that'll be extra.
This is my home. I may pride myself on my philanthropy, but I draw the line at being a halfway house. Zenobia and I are just navigating a slight contractual disagreement. Not that it's any of your concern.
I guess we're all you've got then, Arthur. Want your house squeaky clean? Cough up!
Ugh. This is the last time I hire someone from the guild. Fine. Here's the extra. Finish the job.
Come on, boys. Let's take out the trash.
No. Don't you dare lay a finger on them.
Job done. Whatever's left is yours to sort out.